Hello, my name is Moses. I'm 30 years old. I just turned 30 a couple days ago on January 7th. I noticed that a couple of people subscribed to my YouTube channel since my last upload, so that helped motivate me to get on here and talk a little bit. And recently I looked up the leading causes of death and saw that heart disease was at the top. And I remember in high school, I learned about this on my own, not in class, but never really thought too much about it. Continued to eat anything that I could afford and liked, like most people. But I saw this stat, heart disease at the top, and I again looked it up. What causes heart disease? And before I looked anything up, I just assumed being, overweight, consuming too much fat. And from the things that I found online, it appears that most doctors agree that cholesterol is the is at the top of the list for things that cause heart disease. So I looked up, what foods have cholesterol and found out that cholesterol, you have all the cholesterol you need is in your body, allegedly, and we just consumed extra from animals and meat. So in my head, I've been trying to think, well, what's best? What do I want? What do I need? What do you need? What do you want? What's best? What's better? And thinking this way, I'm at the point where I think that it's best to avoid most foods containing, or all foods containing any cholesterol to be as healthy as you possibly can into your old age. I mean, you see some individuals who are very old and still very capable of communicating worthwhile ideas. And I notice this individual, I hope I get his name correctly, Christopher Hitchens. He died about a decade ago, and I was a fan of the videos, like the things he would say. It would make sense. I thought he was still alive, and yeah, he died of heart complications. You know, it would be nice to still have individuals like him around. Um, he was a heavy smoker, heavy drinker, and I'm not sure what his diet was like, but I assume that he consumed more cholesterol than the average person, but I'm not sure. But what I'm trying to say is that if you know we all come to an agreement and realize that there are better ways to uh, be be healthy, live longer, and do worthwhile things. Um, everyone could have a better life. Um, so I came to this information that it's cholesterol, fats. So I've been trying to cut it, cut most of it out, if not all of it. But I've really avoided, foods with cholesterol, and I've been really trying to think about it. Like when you have the options to eat whatever you want, what's best? Eh, If you could literally have any food, like is eating meat best or other things? And why? So I try to think of it this way: if you find yourself living in the North Pole or the South Pole, what can you eat there if you don't have many options? There's not that many plants there. But you're gonna, I guess, try to fish. Maybe try to get food from, you know, you eat some polar bears. How are you going to survive in those cases? Now you bring yourself to the equator. You're in a position where you can eat almost anything. What's best? What's better? The way I'm thinking about it is that it, in favor of eating meat, like why? Whenever I think about it, like why? It, it's some of the easiest foods available to me. Plant-based foods are pretty expensive. You know, buying a burger is pretty easy. Getting some chicken is just too easy, and it seems more difficult to get some good plant-based foods. It seems like there's more effort, and I don't think it should be that way. But those those are my arguments for it. It tastes decent. Then, so in favor of, you're at the North Pole, what other options do you have? And in the case where you do have options, what's best? What's best in the short term? What's best in the long term? So now arguments against. So the main argument for me is the cholesterol. I mean, I think well that was the main thing for me. And then second thing was it just doesn't feel right to just use other animals. And one thing that comes to mind are, bears that, they eat salmon. Bears seem, pretty chill, pretty calm. They're just minding their business. You know, in your head, you're probably thinking, they eat some berries and some fruits that they might find, just bears that aren't, polar bears. And what I'm thinking about are the cases where you got these bears eating, fish at by the river. Instead of going after humans, other animals, they seem to prefer fish. Why? We can't. We can make get guesses for why. Maybe they're aware that if they go after humans, humans will, you know, put them down. Or it's just maybe they find it easier to eat some fish. And then I'm also thinking about, you know, should it be just a no for, all animals, or should there be a line drawn somewhere? If you think about, a single-celled animal, like like is that good? Is that best in the long term to eat any animal? No, as a society, most of us agree we're not going to be eating each other, or at least try to. But it seems like all around the world, every other animal is on the table in at least some parts of the world. And if I'm trying to argue for no, is it no for all animals, including the single-celled animal? And if so, why not eat a single-celled animal and all animals included? And whenever I think about this, what comes to my head is that I originally thought, don't eat most animals, but fish are okay. And I thought, well, why do I think that eating fishing, why is that okay, but not most other animals? And I think it's because it's easier to associate, or I'm not sure if empathize is, the best word, but it's a word to describe, by analogy, animals who make sounds of distress. It's just this doesn't feel right, and fish don't make that sound. So maybe that's why I thought that fish are fair game, and I'm a little unsure about these things. I don't know. I'm still thinking about all this. So that's that's all I want to talk about right now. I don't want to keep talking too long here, especially how I'm feeling right now after thinking about Christopher Hitchens just not being alive. And yeah, uh, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and